Thank you. Okay, it is 3 o'clock, Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, and we have a quorum with Commissioners Ferguson and Commissioners Dixon. Calling to order the meeting of May 20th. First order of attendance is the acceptance of the minute of the March 18, 2025. Are there any corrections or modifications that need to be done? Okay, do I have a motion to accept the minutes as printed?
I'll make a motion.
Yes, Commissioner Dixon motioned.
I'll second.
Seconded. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are accepted. Fire Chief's report. Chief Gatto.
Okay, so we are 10 months into the fiscal year. And percentage-wise, we should be at 83.3%. And we are much lower than that in our salary and overtime accounts, which are the two biggest accounts. We're at almost 74%. So we're doing good in that respect. If you look at the column for the salary expenses, the available balance should be more than enough to be able to carry us through the next 2.5 months. And that's the same for the overtime expenses. We should be able to carry through all right with that. We'll be transferring money from some different accounts just to cover some items or repairs that need to be done, but we're still in good shape. So I think we're going to be just fine at the end of the year. So if you have any questions.
Great job in keeping us very well under budget. We thank you. Any commissioners, any questions or comments? Okay. Assistant Fire Chief of Administration, Assistant Chief Conti.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Just a couple of updates on projects. We're going the Station 1 apparatus floor. That pricing's been submitted for approval, so hopefully I can that we'll be able to get on some agendas and get that passed through so we can replace that floor, work on that. That's the next project. Station 3, the overhead door was installed and that project's complete. We actually came in slightly under budget, I think 2,300 and change, but everything worked out well there. The new door is working fine for the firefighters. At Station 4, the building renovation, we were funded for next year for the capital budget, and right now it's with this building facilities management. They're drafting up the RFP to contract the architect for the project. So hopefully we can secure an architect soon and get that project started, at least the planning phase. And for the citywide, for the overhead door replacements, we're as I stated before, we're waiting on the doors. As they come in, they're going to be installed. So I'm very excited to have that happen because we've been replacing or repairing some of the old doors in the interim. We're just waiting for these doors to get, they can't come soon enough. But I was told around May, so we're at the end of May now. So we should be getting those doors anytime soon. Hopefully next month I've got a few more doors in for you. And for the SCBA compliance upgrade, that was that's all of our that's our breathing apparatus that we wear in fires for everybody who's not familiar with it. That's and what we NFPA basically every 10 years they change their compliance codes, and they did that last year. So what we've done is we've started phasing in the funding in the last few years, and then we were approved for the final phasing for the harnesses. So what we're going to be doing now is we're getting the final pricing, and we're going to be ordering. We got from the ARPA, we got the bottles; those are already in the new our new cylinders, and now we're going to get the face pieces, regulators, and the harnesses. So hopefully we'll have those. We'll have all the up-to-date equipment by the end of this year.
Mr. Conti, I have a question. These bottles, how long do they last? And when they come to the expiration, do we give them to a third world country or another city, or just if it's gone, it's gone?
That's a great question. We were just discussing that last week, actually, with the chiefs, and we're trying to figure out what we can do. We do have a whole bunch of bottles. The way the cylinders go is you only have a 15-year life on them. That they get hydrostat. They get tested every 5 years, but there's a shelf life on those. So those can't go past that. They can't be filled. But same thing with the packs. We're going to look into that because we do have some and see if they've got some shelf life left on them. We were just a little unclear as to what our options are. But we were just talking about that this week, actually.
Yeah, I've experienced that once with the police department over the course of years when they have their vest or some other pieces of equipment. After a while, they send it to another country or they send it to a hub, like the Red Cross, and they dispose of it whichever way they do. I don't know the process. I thought I'd just ask.
Yeah, that's definitely something we're looking into, and I'll try to get some better answers for you next month. But to see what our options are, we have to obviously talk to the city first and see where their stance is on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a great idea if that's an option, because I'd love to be able to. We would love to be able to have somebody else use them that needs them.
I support that idea. It's wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions or comments?
Are those Scott Air Packs? Is that the manufacturer?
Yes, we use Scott Air Packs.
Okay, if there are no other questions, we'll move on to Assistant Chief of Operations, Assistant Chief McCabe.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
I'll begin the operations report under monthly calls, item A. Calls in April 2025, we had 655 incidents, averaging almost 22 per day. We had 26 fires, including 5 building fires, 40 rescues, 35 of those being motor vehicle accidents. We responded to 405 emergency medical responses, 20 hazardous conditions, 20 service calls, 32 good intent, and 112 fire alarms. Under item 2, summary of calls, from January 1st to April 30th of this year, we are at 2,642 incidents and 4,263 total responses. And both of those categories are up from 2024. Moving on to operations. Item 1, our standard operating procedures have been updated to optimize our rescue and truck company personnel at structure fires. So these firefighters perform functions such as search and rescue and ventilation while the engine company simultaneously extinguishes the fire. And all of our personnel have been trained on those updates and are utilizing them now. Item 2, Assistant Chief McCabe and Deputy Chief Reardon recently met with Deputy Chief Alton from the Stamford Fire Department to discuss the location and logistics of a multi-agency tanker drill, which will be held in West Norwalk later this summer. This drill will put into practice Norwalk FD's new procedures for providing water supply to fires in low water districts in town. Item 3, our 4 new probationary firefighters completed their orientation training on Monday, May 19th, and they will be starting on shift at the end of this week. Under notable incidents from March and April, March 6th, we had a structure fire at 40 Allen Road. This fire involved the chimney and extended into part of the roof. Fire crews extinguished the blaze before it could do extensive damage inside the house. On March 7th, the NFD responded to a mutual aid call from Stamford for a 3-alarm commercial fire in their city. Norwalk crews covered Stamford Fire Headquarters and responded to EMS calls and an elevator rescue at the Stamford train station during that coverage. March 9th, we had a house fire at 4 Tenetta Circle. Fire damage was contained to the basement and one room on the first floor. There was extensive smoke damage throughout the house. No occupants were injured. March 24th, we had a house fire at number 2 Morton Street. This fire was well involved when the first companies arrived. The occupant was out of the building and firefighters were forced to make a defensive attack. Due to the advanced conditions upon arrival and the fuel load inside the house, by the time it was extinguished, that structure was a total loss. April 20th, we saw a house fire at 15 Lockwood Lane. First arriving firefighters were met with heavy smoke showing and fire on the first floor spreading to the second. An aggressive interior attack extinguished the fire before it could take hold of the second floor. And on April 29th, there was a house fire at 30 Lexington Avenue. That fire started inside a wall on the third floor, requiring firefighters to open up and expose the fire before it could be extinguished. The fire was contained to the third floor, and although many residents were displaced by the blaze, none were injured. That concludes the operations report. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Well, you guys have been very, very busy, and we thank you for all the work that you do, the entire Norwalk Fire Department.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you for all your hard work. Shows.
Okay, the Fire Marshal's report. Yeah, Fire Marshal Donahue. You're on mute. Well, we didn't hear anything you said. You're on mute. There we go. Try it again.
Still on mute.
Now you are. Now you're good.
I apologize for that. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
Yeah, my
afternoon.
Lincoln too. The Fire Marshal's Office summary of activities for the month of March and April. I'll include both months for you guys. Total inspections through 2 months for 237 inspectable properties. That would be a total of 2,160 units. Will calls came in at 42, which are requests for inspections that come in from our new program, First Due. We had 1 smoke detector install. Public education events, we had 5. Planner reviews, we had a total of 46 for a total of $3,000 generated income. Liquor license of 3, generated income of $195 for total income of $3,195. Fire Marshal Office investigations, investigated incidents, we had 29 for the months of March and April. Coded hazard issues, we had 6. Total investigations would be 35. We had 4 megas that were inspected during these two months. The guys are still transitioning from ESO to First Due. We're inputting a lot of information. Inspections may be down a little bit, but we're inputting all good information from our old software to our new software with good information from the property information, the tenant or property owner's information into our system. So we have good contact information. We had 1 temporary closure on Wall Street, US Furniture. It was a failure to provide fire and life safety reports, and actually not following the proper procedure in the city of Norwalk for opening up a new business. So they are temporarily closed, and hopefully they will be open soon. They're in the process of opening their fire and life safety systems up to code and applying for all the permits through planning, zoning, and building. And that would conclude my summary for the 2 months.
Any questions? Thank you for the report, Deputy Chief Donahue.
Thank you.
Emergency Management, Mr. Luca.
Hi, good afternoon.
afternoon.
Just multitasking with 2 Zooms at once. So for emergency management, obviously with summer coming, we have the concern of heat waves and extreme temperatures. So working on updating the plan, and we have a tabletop exercise scheduled for Thursday. And that will be risk management, personnel, health, police, community services, library, customer service, communications, a few others, just to kind of walk through the plan, see if there's any small changes, make sure we're on the same page for outreach, website information, infographics, any kind of handouts. So again, that's planned for Thursday. on June 2nd to kick off the start of hurricane season and summer. I've worked with personnel to schedule a safety fair, specifically for city employees. That'll be at City Hall. I want to say, I think it's 11 to 1. So again, really with the purpose of making sure that they're staying safe throughout the summer months, whether at home or at work. And then finally, hurricane season does start on June 1st. Normally I've done a webinar Zoom with our emergency management team right now because there's so many potential changes coming to FEMA. And that's actually what this webinar is now. We just don't know what's going to happen. So again, a lot of talk about changes to damage assessment requirements, cost shares, everything else. So the hope is once we know a little bit more, then I'll do the Zoom with the full team. This way they're getting the most updated information. We know there's going to be an impact at the state and local level. We just don't know what to what extent yet. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Lucan. Any questions?
Great, thank you.
Okay, appreciate everything you do to keep us safe and healthy. Okay, next is a training division report, Deputy Chief Capola.
Good afternoon, everybody. So for the training division, the last couple of weeks, current activities, we just recently had an advanced forcible entry operations class utilizing a specialized training prop that we brought in for the week to run all the shifts and platoons through. We tacking on to what Assistant Chief McCabe said, we did some training on the in classroom on the truck and rescue company SOPs. We're still putting data into our new First Due program. Company officers are doing pre-planning to get some data in there. What else? Just ongoing stuff, engine and truck operator training. Some of the newer members we have are now transitioning into driving positions, so we're getting them trained up. Some of the stuff that we completed recently, Deputy Chief promotional examination was completed and the list has been established. Been doing some aerial master stream deployment at Matthews Park, utilizing the aerial apparatus. We did purchase new gas meters recently and we finished the orientation training on those for across all shifts and platoons. And we bought some new elevator rescue equipment and we've done some training on familiarization with that. A lot of that equipment is what we already have, but now it's true we have more of it. And then upcoming stuff, Deputy Fire Marshal promotional exam is going to be held at the end of this month, with the oral assessment being in the first week of June. We have a specialized search maze trailer coming in next week. That's going to be delivered by the Connecticut Fire Academy. We're going to be using it for a week. Consequently, Rowayton Fire Department is also going to be using it on one of the evenings. So I extended the invitation to them to participate in that training on the evening for their volunteers. And they'll be using it on Thursday of next week. We scheduled a fire officer certification course for it's actually a level 2 fire officer course. We have so many members that have the fire officer level 1 course already that the demand was requested to run the officer 2 portion of that class, and that'll be held here in October. Also working on a hazardous materials operational refresher. And we're starting to get into planning phase to use Manresa Island to do some training on site there. The power plant is a great spot for confined space and rope rescue. And we have the physicals that are ongoing. That's currently ongoing. And that's the report. I'll take any questions anyone has.
Well, thank you as always for a very extensive, full report. We appreciate everything that you do to keep our staff well prepared and physically able. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions, commissioners? No questions. Okay, local reports, there are no items. Correspondence, no items. Personnel, no items. Anyone in the public participating that wishes to make a comment? I don't see anyone.
No.
Okay.
No.
Old business, update on 29-foot metal shark boat. Chief.
Okay, just a quick short update. As you know, we've been trying to get a hold of another refurbished boat through our port security grant. We're able to do that. We're now in the final stages of the this whole vessel being put together. It's progressing very well. I did see a video, a sea trial video. It is in the water. And we're scheduled on June 3rd to have an independent survey of the boat. And hopefully it'll be satisfactory and the boat could be shipped up here within a week or two after we get the report in the middle to the end of June. So we're looking forward to getting this new addition to our marine fleet.
That's great. Thank you, Chief. Any questions?
You're welcome.
We got one addition, Oscar, if I may. Did anyone happen to see the rescue of a young lady that got caught in a riptide? And the gentleman used a drone that he used to extend his fishing line into the deeper water. And he went out with a life vest attached to the bottom, got right over the top. The girl grabbed it and she was saved. I'm just
No, I didn't
curious.
see that.
Yeah, it was on, I was on the news. Yeah, it wasn't on a YouTube or anything else. I thought
Really?
that was pretty good use of the
Yes.
equipment. I don't know where that
Creative.
would bust anywhere or
Hey.
not.
Joe, take note of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, I thought. Because no one on the
Oh.
beach, believe it or not, could swim. And that young lady was out there all by herself, so to speak, and she would have been toast had it not been for that drone operation. So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Uh, that is great. Good creative ways to save lives. Chief, can you just give us for a brief update on the Memorial Day Parade? What time it starts? Where you're meeting at?
Yeah, so it's Vets Park. 10 a.m. is step off. We usually get there within a half hour before it starts. And we're gonna have engine 8 in the parade, so the kids can ride the back of it. If you have any grandkids, they're welcome to ride in the back.
How booked is that? Do you need to book in advance or?
We usually just we never seem to fill it up, so hopefully there'll be room. I don't have a first come, first serve
Mhm.
appointment or reservations, you know.
So
So
if
we're
they
gonna
show
put
up
engine 8 in the parade, truck 2, engine 1, and the new TAC blocker truck there will also be in the parade.
Good. Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the fire marshals are gonna have a truck pulling the trailer, the smoke trailer. We will not have Sparky in the parade this year.
Oh,
He's getting a little tired and we're trying to actually reserve him for school public events when we go to the different schools. So yeah, he's getting up there in age, Sparky.
well, thank you for the update, Chief.
Okay, you're welcome.
If there's no other business, I'll take a call for adjournment.
Second?
Okay. Commissioner Ferguson seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Have a good weekend, and happy Memorial Day.
Good
Thank you.
meeting. Same
Thank
here,
you all.
same to you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Have a nice afternoon.
Good weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Enjoy it.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.